as you might know what we're doing our bedtime read aloud. That was quick. So, you may saw yesterday's, or you may have not. Well, hold on, I'm going to pull up my chair really quick. So we're going to read a 2-page long story called The Humblebee. So let's start. 2 young men were walking out on the summer's day and stopped by a teeny stream next to an old ruined house. If you don't know what they meant, it meant old house. But there might be spirits in there. Someone hasn't lived in there for days. They were admiring the place and noticed how the stream turned into a miniature waterfall, crossed by the narrow blades of the grass. One of the men were trying from the walk in the afternoon heat and sat down by the stream. Soon he was fast asleep, and the other sat quietly, watching the view. Suddenly a tiny creature about the size of a humblebee flew out of the sleeper's mouth. Oh my god, that's so gross. So while he was sleeping, you know people have their mouth open when they sleep, like, well, a bee flew into his mouth and it came out, which is gross. Ugh. It reminded the place to notice the stream turned into a miniature waterfall crossed by the narrow blades of grass. One of the men were tired from the walk, and suddenly a tiny creature about the size of a humblebee flew out of the sleeper's mouth. It landed by the stream, crossed some grass stalks that hung over the water in the narrowest point. The creature then approached the ruin and disappeared in one of the cracks of the wall. The men who saw all this was shocked and decided to wake his friend to see if he was all right. As he shook his champion awake, he astonished that creature emerged from the ruin, finally fly across the stream and reaches the sleeper's mouth just as the man was walking. What's the matter? Are you ill? Asked the watcher. I am well, replied the sleeper. I just interrupted the most wonderful dream, and I wish you had not woke me up. And up here are some little signs. With you shaking, I dreamed that I walked through a vast grassy plain and came to a wide river. I wanted to cross the river to see what was on the other side, and I found a place near a great waterfall where there was a bridge made of silver. I walked over the bridge, and on the far bank was a beautiful palace built of stone. Oh, that sounds beautiful. I walked over the bridge and saw a beautiful palace built of stone. When I looked in, the chambers of the palace contained great mounds of gold and jewels. I was looking at all these fine things, wondering at the wealth of the person who left them there, and deciding which wish I should bring them away with me. Then suddenly you woke me up, and I could bring any none of the riches. You can see the beautiful palace. It is pretty beautiful. Like there's the bridge, and there's queens. Oh, by the way, you can see some designs right there. Bow wow wow, bow wow wow. What's Art Slow? Little Tom Twinker's dog. Bow wow wow. You can see the little dog is running with ribbons around him, and you can see the little designs. Two little dogs sat by the fire over a random coal of dust, and said one little dog to the other little dog, "If you don't talk, why I must." Pussycat sits by the fire. Pussycat sits by the fire. How did she come there? In the walk of a little dog says, "Pussycat, are you there? How do you do, Mistress Pussycat?" "Mistress Pussycat, how do ya do?" "I thank you, friendly little dog, as fair as well as you." You see the little cat is sitting near the fire, and then the dog, he comes and talks to him. It's a wonderful story. Robin and Richard. Robin and Richard were 2 pretty men. They laid in bed till the clock struck 10. Then up starts Robin and looks at the sky. "Oh, brother Richard, the sun's very high. The bulls in the barn stretching the corn. The cock's on the dunghill blowing his horn. At the cats at the fire fighting the fish. The dog's in the pantry breaking his dish." You can see the two men are sleeping in their bed. You can see the sun is wide open, and there's also designs. Little Tommy Tittlemouse. Tittlemouse. Little Tommy Tittlemouse lived in a little house. He caught fishes and other men's dishes. The little mouse is having a great time. He's catching some fish. You can see little birds up there. You can see little designs. Seesaw Murray Daw. Seesaw Murray Daw. Jack shall have a new master. He shall have but a penny a day, because he can't work any faster. Three young rats. Three young dogs with white flats. Three young dogs with curling tails. Three young cats with dimples, and went out to walk the two young pigs. In the same film, the soul wigs, but suddenly it changed the rain, so they all went home again. You see the little designs in the corner. The cold old house. I know a cold old house. And by a cold old house by the sea. And if I were a mouse in that cold house, what a cold mouse I would be. So it must be really cold in that house. I like this design they did. They like put the writing in there and the little designs in there. So you can see the little guys wearing a scarf. So cute. It must be really cool. Oh, three blind mice. So everyone's heard it. Well, not everyone, but three blind mice. I don't know the song, but I just know the title. Three blind mice. See how they run. Three blind mice. See how they run. They all ran after the farmer's wife, who cut off their tails with a carving knife. Did you ever hear such a bad thing in your life as three blind mice? You can see the three rats. Oh, there's new designs. See, the rat is about to have her tail off. Why is she so happy? That's the problem. She's a duck if she's happy. Bat, come under my hat. Ooh, rhyme. And I'll give you a slice of bacon. And when I bake, I'll give you a cake. Ooh, rhyme, if I'm not mistaken. So I like this color. You can see the little bat. I don't know if you can see it, but it's right there. And you can see the kid wants to grab it. And you can see it. Have you heard of what that can do? It can turn into a vampire. Hickory dickory dock. Okay, you have heard about this. Hickory dickory dock. The mouse went up the clock. The clock struck one. So, hickory dickory dock. Hickory dickory dock. Hickory dickory dock. The mouse went up the clock. The clock struck one. The mouse ran down. Hickory dickory dock. Get out. Get out. You can see a clock. See a clock, and you can see the rats. The tiny rats. See the little designs up there. Innery, minnery, cuttery corn. Innery, minnery, cuttery corn. Apple seed and apple thorn. Wire barrier, limber lock. These geese in a flock, rhyme. Who flew east and one flew west. West, one flew over the cuckoo's nest. You can see the little geese. Look at those designs, cute. You can see the little geese are flying up in the air while she's going for the nest. The cuckoo. The cuckoo, what do you do? In April, I opened my bill. Probably not a paper bill, I'm guessing. Bills are like money in this case. In May, I sing night and day. In June, I change my tune. July, away I fly. In August, away I must. You can see the little birdie sitting in the tree, and you can see over here, but it's flying, and you can see up there's all the signs. There were two little birds sat on a stone. There were two little birds who sat on a stone. Fa la 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 dee. One flew away and there was one. Fa la 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 da dee. The other flew away and there was none. Fa la 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 dee ha. And so the chorus song was all left alone. La 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 lee. You see the little birds are sitting on the stone. You see the cute little designs. You can see where's the rock at? Oh, you can see the poor little rock. Two little birds sitting on a wall. One named Peter, one named Paul. Oh, fly away, Peter. Fly away, Paul. Come back, Peter. Come back, Paul. So I really like this blue they did for the sky. See, the two little birds are sitting in the grass field, about to fly away. And that is all we're going to read for today. Ooh. See you guys. See ya in my next video. Bye.